Hey, welcome back for the second lecture in this first week in Sociology 336, the Sociology of Work and Technology. Today we're going to talk about just what's going on with work in the, in Canada, but also more broadly, just thinking about like how Canada fits in with global trends in work and labor. So one thing you'll notice when you go through this first reading that's assigned this week is that there's a lot of talk about precarity, which is to say the changing relationship between employees and their employers. We're used to thinking about work in terms of what's called a standard employment relationship, right? Where, you show up, you work for a set period of time, usually for a full-time job, which is anything greater than 30 hours per week, and you receive some sort of payment, either an hourly wage or a salary, right? Okay, what we're shifting to now is situations that, employment situations that significantly differ from that. This can be freelance work, where you're an independent contractor. This could be self-employment. This could be working as a temporary employee or a seasonal employee. These are increasingly common across all industries and across all countries worldwide. Canada is no different in this situation. As you'll notice when you read the chapter that's assigned for the latter half of this week, you'll notice that this is on the rise. Now, this is happening at the same time that we're told that technology is solving all of the problems of society. Technology is solving all of the problems of work. It's disrupting what we commonly accept as quote-unquote normal. And one of these things that it's disrupting is the standard employment relationship. And we'll talk a little bit more about how that happens later on in the course, but I want you to start thinking about this now. Start thinking about, on one hand, you have technology bringing all these new ways of potentially working, all these new opportunities, new ways of doing things. This is what we hear about in the news. You pick up the Star, the Globe and Mail, they'll be more than happy to tell you about this sort of thing. And then on the other hand, we have this rise, this global trend of precarious employment. Now, this seems like a contradiction. On one hand, we have new technologies that are producing vast amount of wealth for companies like Amazon, like Apple, and other kind of tech companies, Google, so on and so forth. On the other hand, we have widespread precarious employment. We have stagnant wages. Why is this the case? For whom is this the case, right? You'll notice in the reading that most of the rising wages, the rising incomes that we're seeing in the real world in Canada, but you also see this trend to the south in the United States. You also see this in Western Europe. You see this in lots of sort of comparable social situations, right? Is that it's the top, what 10 years ago or so people were calling the 1%, right? And I believe the book makes that use of that language. It's the top tier, the upper quintiles, that are really doing quite well. People in managerial and professional jobs, you'll see that their wages have risen. Whereas people at the bottom, the working classes, oftentimes women, people of color, young people like yourselves, just about to enter the workforce, new immigrants, undocumented, migrant workers. These are the people who are not doing so well. So as we start to think about for whom does technology work, how does it operate upon workers, upon labor, for whom does it serve as a tool for increasing wealth, I think it's good to just look at what is the distribution of incomes. how is that structured in Canada. Now, I want to stress to you that this is not just a national trend. What we're seeing here are very similar to global figures, global numbers. The world over is seeing a rise of what Guy Standing, who we won't read in this class but is referenced in the reading today, he calls the precariat, a sort of global precarious class. And so with that in mind, I want you to read the figures, figure-laden, sort of statistically. With that in mind, I want you to go into this text that I've assigned for this week, just thinking about like, okay, well, what are some potential ways in which we might see this ongoing social situation, this rise in precarious employment that's described in the reading for this week? How might we start to think about that in relation to technology? And we're going to pick up on that in the next lecture, where I start talking about organizational techniques, techniques for organizing work processes or the working day. Okay, well, I hope to see you all this week, and take care. Feel free to say something in the discussion forum if you have any questions or comments, or would like to see me talk about anything in particular. Okay, well, take care. Bye.